Hey guys, it's Sinsuki. This video is for Skyball Paint from the NeoGAF forums, and he was asking how he should play a two-handed Barbarian in Pillars of Eternity. Now, let me answer that question. So, two-handed Barbarians in Pillars of Eternity is a pretty good choice. I'm not sure what race and class combo that you're going to pick for that. My two favourites for this would probably be actually, I've probably got three preferences or Mauer for their +2 might, which is pretty good. Orlins, because they have a 10% chance to convert a hit into a crit when they're attacking the same target as an ally, and Death Godlikes would also be good as well, because in the full version they're going to do more damage against targets under 25% endurance. It says 15 here, but it's being buffed in the release version. So I'm going to pick this now. Barbarians. Okay, so level 1, you've got two choices between Frenzy and Barbaric Yell. Frenzy is an ability that you want to use at the start of an encounter, and the way you would use that is you would have your tank characters at the front of your formation or positioned ahead of your other characters when you're about to initiate combat, and you would have the Barbarian positioned behind them, because then enemies won't be targeting the Barbarian. And once enemies start engaging or targeting your frontline characters, you would have the Barbarian activate Frenzy from the back, which is a per encounter ability. It increases might and constitution and makes you attack faster, but it decreases your deflection and you can't see your endurance and your health. So the idea with using that is to have the Barbarian come in as a roving striker and attack from the side. Another ability you can use is Frightening Yell, which makes the enemies frightened for 12 seconds. I can't remember what that does off the top of my head, but I think it reduces their accuracy. I'm going to go with Frenzy. Now, for attributes, I would recommend Might and Intellect. Intellect increases the area of effect of the Barbarian's passive ability Carnage, which, when you make a melee attack, it hits all enemies in a certain area of effect, and Intellect increases that area of effect. It also increases the duration of Frenzy, so I'd probably have that as high as possible. 18, I think 18 would be pretty good. Might is also very good because you want to deal damage. I would also probably have a few points in dexterity, because you're aiming at not getting hit. You don't really need your defensive attributes as much, so I'd probably bump Constitution down to 9, dexterity maybe to 13, and the others on 10. That's what I would probably pick. Cultures influences your starting gear, and it also influences your stats, so you can probably move these around a little bit. It doesn't really matter too much. It's pretty cosmetic. I think the starting AD one's fine. It's mostly for role playing, but you have to be careful because currently it changes your attributes after you've already picked them, which is a bug. They're going to be fixing that, maybe not in release, but in a patch. So just pay attention to the numbers changing, because if I change to Old Valor, it reduces my resolve but increases the intelligence. I'm just going to leave it on this one. Backgrounds doesn't really matter, it's a role-playing thing, but it does give you stats, so I'm probably going to go with Mercenary. And I'll pick the one that looks like the portrait.
Yeah.
Okay, so now for the early levels, skills is not super important for combat, even though they all do give a little bit of bonuses to combat. Mechanics makes your traps more accurate. Survival increases the duration of consumables. Law, it makes you be able to use scrolls. Athletics makes you less tired at the end of the day or after fighting, and stealth increases your ability to get close to the encounters. I'm just going to go athletics at the moment. Now, talent selection is where it gets a bit interesting, because there's a lot of them, and there's a lot of good choices. So weapon focus, if you have a specific preference of what weapon you want to be using in the game, you said two-handed sword, then weapon focus soldier would be a good one because it increases your accuracy by 6, so that's a good choice. That would be good. Picking that at any stage of the game would be good. At the moment, I think I'm going to go, obviously you don't want, actually hang on a second, I probably should have started with the Greatsword, but you can buy one at the start of the game, it doesn't really matter. So that's a good one to start with. Another one I would recommend is two-handed style, but I wouldn't get that straight away. It's plus 10% damage. That's an error on the description. They'll probably change that in the full game. Vulnerable attack is another pretty good one. It allows you to bypass armor, but it slows down your attack speed a little bit. And Bloody Slaughter is a good one that synergizes with the Death God Likes ability. This is a not quite accurate description. It'll be changed for the full game. Basically, when targets are under 50% health, it makes you do a lot more damage against them, so it'll help you kill stuff quicker. Now, the class talents. Greater Frenzy is currently not that good because it only gives you +2 Might and Constitution on top of what you've already got. Accurate Carnage increases the accuracy of your Carnage attacks by 5. That's not bad. And Barbaric Blow is a per encounter ability which gives you a special attack that does more damage, and you do pretty big crits on it, so I'm going to pick that one first off. And for this is your level 3 ability for Barbarians. You can pick ones from past abilities, so that was level 1. You've also got Savage Defiance, which gives you a heal. Wild Sprint, which makes you move fast, but I haven't really been able to find too many uses for that ability at the moment. Plus, it's per rest instead of per encounter, so I would probably not pick that at the moment. And Blooded is a bit... I think there's a bug in the description with that as well, so I'd probably go with Savage Defiance or Barbaric Yell. And now for the next talent, I'm probably going to go with Weapon Focused Soldier. Okay, so now I'll turn on cheats and I'll level up the Barbarian for you. We'll do it to level 8. Actually, before I do that, I'll also summon a Greatsword. Oops. Okay, so there's a Greatsword. Now we'll go back into the level up screen. Okay, so now this is level 5, I'm pretty sure, so you've got a fair few choices here. The 2 new ones, actually there's 3 new ones. There's Bloodlust, which gives you extra attack speed after you kill an enemy. Not too bad, I've tried it a little bit. I'm not 100% sure about that one. I think any out of Barbaric Yell, Brute Force, One Stands Alone, and Bloodlust are a good choice. Brute Force means that you are... depending on which defense is lower from an enemy's fortitude or deflection, it targets the lowest one. Most of the enemies in the back of beta have a pretty good fortitude, so I've only found that situationally useful, but over the course of the game, it could be pretty good. So that's not a bad choice, and One Stands Alone means that it takes more enemies to flank you in the game. Now, with my playstyle, I probably wouldn't pick that because I'm good at controlling my positioning, so pretty much any one of these 4 would be a good ability. I'm probably going to go with something passive because I want to spend most of my time making just normal attacks with Carnage, so I think I'm going to go with maybe Brute Force. I think I'll go with that. Okay, so now for the level 6 talent selection. I'm probably going to go with Vulnerable Attack. That's the one that allows you to bypass armor. I really love that talent at the moment. For the level 6 ability, you get a couple of new ones. Threatening Presence, which if you're standing still, enemies within a 1.25 meter radius are sickened. Now, Sickened is a debuff, so that's pretty cool. That's a really good one. And Thick Skinned, I don't think is very good at the moment because it only gives +2 DR. Actually, they did buff that, actually. It was a weak ability before. It used to only be Slash, but now it's +2 DR against all of the standard armor types. That's not bad, actually. It gives you a bit of extra defense. I'm going to go with Threatening Presence. Now for I think this is the level 7 talent, or is it the level 8 talent? I can't remember what we're up to now. Okay, so now I reckon Bloody Slaughter would be a good one. Two-handed style would also be good because it would increase the damage of your two-handed weapons, and damage multipliers stack, which is really cool. I'm probably going to go with Accurate Carnage, I think.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like a build that I would recommend for a Barbarian. That's fairly passive. You do have a few active abilities. You've got Frenzy, which you would use at the start of combat. Barbaric Blow, which I'd recommend using as your first strike in every encounter. and Savage Defiance, which I would recommend toggling on when you're getting hurt. And Vulnerable Attack is a modal ability which slows your attack speed down a little bit but bypasses armor. Hopefully this was an helpful video to give you some idea of the options that you have available for making a Barbarian of this type. Thanks for watching.